So relationship readings are really hard because the outcome, the reading, can be a huge influence in someone's life. They could, and actually this happened to me. I had a reading when I was in a very difficult relationship, and the reading made me consider staying for longer than maybe I should have done because the reading was so positive. Also, a reading can sow doubts in a relationship where there really isn't any need to. The spread that I'm going to show you can be used for any form of relationship, whether that's with a work colleague, with a friend, with a peer, with a family member, or of course with a romantic partner. I think it's really important that if you're involved in relationship readings, you make sure you do the same reading for yourself, because you need to always start with self to understand yourself and then look at how that you can understand the dynamic between you and the other. And that's what takes you to the point of empowerment and advice and able to navigate the situation better. So this is my head and heart spread. I am reading for someone in my life, not a romantic partner, just somebody that is involved in my life. It's completely anonymous. And this is going to be looking at how they think about me. How somebody thinks about you, that to me is how they would present to you. If you're into astrology, I would think of that as the ascendant. It's the words they use, it's the actions they take. How they feel about you is often deeper and maybe hidden for many reasons. And often we hide our deepest emotions due to fear of being rejected, fear of being hurt, wanting to keep safe, etc. So the first card is how they act towards me, how I perceive them, how they want to be perceived, how they come across. Knight of Pentacles, really beautiful cards. Oddly, I did a similar reading last night on my Zoom course for a different person, and the same card came up. So it's clearly a consistent theme in my life, which is wonderful. Loyal, steadfast, kind, wonderful. Yes, I would agree. And the wonderful thing about this spread is because you start with how the other person is perceiving you, how they're thinking about you, you should be able to validate it as accurate before you go on to the more hidden side, which is the feelings. Something I always do a problem, a crossed card. I don't read reversals, so I do a crossed card. A problem they have with me, something that frustrates or a difficulty, something they need to overcome in how they are relating to me. The Chariot is a card of moving forward. The Chariot is a card of, balancing fears and hopes and moving forward. And I happen to know that sometimes this person thinks that I am not confident enough and that I don't take control of my own life enough, which is in this person's relationship with me is an accurate, I agree with what they are saying. How they often come across to me, Five of Swords, argumentative. Yes, we have argued many times, lightly, in a debate kind of a way, usually based on the frustration that I am not moving on in life as quickly as they would like me to. But with the Knight of Pentacles there, it is coming in a very loyal and kind way. So that definitely resonates with me, with how they communicate with me, with their words, with their actions, with how they appear to be thinking about me. So you always have to, I would always stop there. If I'm working with a client, I would validate that. I would ask them, does that seem accurate to you? If you're getting High Priestess, if you're getting the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, then you might be saying, does the person seem slightly withdrawn from you? Two of Swords, do they feel withdrawn from you? If you're getting the Queen of Cups, you might say, or the Empress, you might say, do they seem quite kind and nurturing to you? If you've got the Queen of Swords, you might say they're quite brusque, quite brutal. They just say what they have to say, and just So you're validating that you're accurate by reading with something that you or the client can go, yeah, you nailed it. That's it. So that feels very accurate to me. That strange dilemma with, I know they want me to shine. I hate that word, but yeah, I know they want me to, in particularly in the shamanic work, be far more confident and go far further than I am. And I know that sometimes they actually get a little bit angry about it, but it always feels in a very kind and supportive way. So how do they really feel about me? Judgment's an interesting. I mean, it is curious to me because many of these cards are similar from the cards for a different reading I got last night. But judgment, to me, that's a really powerful card. They enjoy my company. They feel that there is I would say, a soul connection, a heartfelt connection. There is a sense that maybe on one level there is a soul connection. Maybe not soul mates. Perhaps a bit of a heavy word, but a soul connection that we know what each other's thinking and saying, even though maybe we're not together. With judgment, I would say that. On a heart level, what is the problem? What is the block? Ace of Pentacles. Our relationship is quite distant. Our friendship is quite distant. There are slight rules and boundaries about how and when we would communicate. And I think for a deeper friendship, because this is friends, this is not romantic, for a deeper friendship to develop, both of us are going to have to sort of step out of our shell and be more connected. Because the Ace of Pentacles, of course, this is the Garden of Eden, and this is your comfort zone. So there is a promise, there is a feeling there. He feels that there is more to be enjoyed in our friendship, but he's a little wary of leaving a comfort zone. I can resonate with that. And then his deepest feelings, it is a he, the Ace of Wands. Now, generally speaking, that can be sexual attraction. There is a phallic symbol there. We can't deny that. But it's also energy, enthusiasm, exuberance. He feels excited by me. Whether that's sexual or whether that's not, it's an excitement. I love the two aces there. I love the link between the sort of the frustration here and wanting to push our sort of more spiritual friendship forward. And then I love, what's buried beneath here. With the Knight of Pentacles there, it almost feels like he wants to stay. So I have to what I do in a reading is I'm linking the symbols. So I'm finding the common thread. It feels to me like whilst I'm gathering pace for my professional journey, he feels that he wants to remain a little guarded, a little grounded, a little slow until I'm ready to take off. And that's when the two aces can come in. So it is quite a strange reading because it's not romantic relationship. I had to pick somebody really on the edge of my life that can't, so the dots can't be joined. This has to remain anonymous. So it was quite a strange person that I picked, but to me that resonates. So I would, give it a go. Try it. Be careful with it. If you don't want to know what someone really thinks about you, don't ask. Yeah. It's a really useful spread if you're having an argument with somebody, if you're disputing with somebody, if you've got issues at work. It's really useful to ask this to see. Very often they have good heart feelings about you, but they are angry with you for more of a mundane reason. The other thing you can do when you've done this is you can put that reading back, you can reshuffle, and you can do one of two things now. I mean, you can do both, arguably. You can ask, what do I need to know about this relationship? You could ask, how is this relationship going to develop? You could ask for advice. I'm going to ask with this person, what do I need to know about our friendship? I would always do 3 cards. 1 card is never enough for me because I think it's the communication between the cards that really matters. And the whole thing is you're looking for the narrative. You're looking for each card shifts slightly when it's read with the cards around it. So if at the end of the head and heart spread, and sometimes it doesn't always make sense, you're really delving deep here into tarot, ask. Pick the cards up, shuffle, and ask what you need to know. What do I need to know? How do I best navigate this? Where's it going to go? So I'm going to ask with this spiritual friend, a bit of a spiritual mentor, I guess is the best way to describe them. What do I most need to know about our friendship, our relationship moving forward? So Queen of Swords, The Queen of Swords. Yes, it's honesty. Yes, it's clear boundaries. But I also often link it to a single woman, and I'm currently separated from my husband. So I think there is an essence there that our friendship can't deepen whilst I'm still going through the separation process. Queen of Cups, yeah, because this is going to be a friendship I think that develops as I continue my journey with my self healing, as I'm more ready to look at myself rather than focus on the separation. Three of Swords. I like the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is swords. The swords are words, and they are struck straight through the heart, speaking honestly from the heart. So maybe this is a friendship that will deepen and develop. Just pulling the cards from the bottom of the pack, as I am ready to be more vulnerable, which is actually the Queen of Cups, and the Three of Swords is vulnerability. So I'm ready to be more vulnerable. Page of Wands, as I'm ready to deepen my shamanic journey. That resonates with me. So I hope that's been helpful. It's been a strange reading for me to share because I struggled to find somebody I was prepared to do this reading for on YouTube. It had to be someone where there was no romantic connection. It had to be someone who wasn't connected to my life on the internet. So it is a bit of an odd reading, but give it a go. I really love it. It's one I use an awful lot with clients. But like I said, in a relationship reading, I would be expecting to do this for my client and the other person. I always make sure the spreads are focused on the client because that's where the power lies.